Hi, I'm Shoestring Jane. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just showing you our frugal holiday, the one we're on right now, and I'll give you some ideas of how you can have a frugal holiday too. Here we go. Okay, so I thought I'd show you around our lovely little frugal holiday chalet. So it's got everything you need in it. It's not massive, it's not luxurious, but it's really got everything. So we've got a little table and chairs, a little kitchenette here with an oven that works really well, a microwave, and it's pretty well equipped with saucepans and plates and that kind of thing. We bought quite a lot with us in terms of food to save some money. I did an Aldi shop before we came away. So I've got some basics, things like gravy and ketchup and tinned fruit and tinned vegetables and porridge and some rolls for our picnics, and some chocolate bars for when we go out for our picnics as well, that kind of thing. And a flask, obviously. The fridge is getting a bit emptier now, but it's got things like, well, obviously wine, because we need that, and milk and butter and eggs, and we had some bacon and lots of salad and vegetable-y things. So I'm going to do a big pasta tonight for tea. We're using up all of the vegetables and make a hot tomato sauce. And then we've got another little armchair. We have a TV and a music centre. It's been quite nice and warm, so we haven't needed the little fire, but we've got a little fire if we need it. And then we've got two double bedrooms in this one. So this is where we're sleeping, and we're using the other one because it's just the two of us and the dog. We're using the other one as a kind of walk-in wardrobe, but it actually has another bed in there. And then a little bathroom and shower, and a cupboard with stuff in it like that you might want for the beach stuff. The vacuum cleaner. It's where the water heater is. There's another little radiator. So, and as you can see, it's on a little holiday park with lots of similar little chalets. It's not absolutely occupied at the moment because it's not the school holidays, but it's doing quite well. And if you look just out there, you can probably see the sea. So we're that far from the sea, and it's very quiet. There's no entertainment or anything here, but you know, I don't want that. I want a nice quiet life. And so that's us. It's a really nice little place. It's the second time we've been here, and we'll probably come back again. It's not too expensive at all. So here I am filming from the bedroom of our little holiday home. Nice cup of tea. This is the first day we've had in. We've been out every day walking miles and miles and miles along all the beautiful beaches and through gorgeous little villages. And it's just a lovely area. We're in Norfolk, which is absolutely just beautiful area. With Justin's brother and my soon-to-be sister-in-law and their dogs. And it's just a great place, especially it's so dog friendly, so it's really nice with the dogs. All of the restaurants and cafes are happy to have the dogs in. The pubs are. There's bowls of water for them everywhere. There's loads of other dog walkers, so and we're meeting lots of other dogs, and they're all socialising, so that's good. And it's just another example of one of our frugal holidays, really. We love to go on holiday. As you know, we live on a fairly tight budget. But one of the things that makes it worthwhile is having enough money to go on holiday at least once, but preferably twice a year. And that doesn't mean we go on two-week cruises or, stay in posh hotels or anything like that. It's usually a week in May, maybe a week in September. Actually, we're here in July, but, we can be flexible. And we look out for bargains, we look for different types of accommodation. We tend not to go for the obvious accommodation. We were told about this little chalet park by some fellow dog walkers in Essex where we live. And they said the beaches were lovely and it was very dog friendly. So we thought we'd give it a try as we'd just got Archie. And it was just so reasonable, really just so inexpensive. We're lucky, of course, we have got grown-up children, so we don't have to go in the school holidays anymore. That makes it a lot easier. It's very hard. It's tough to go when you've got children. It's just ridiculous. Everything goes up so much. But obviously we did used to have to go during holiday times rather, not during term times. And we used to have a lot of cheap holidays by camping. So kids love camping holidays. I know you get cold and wet sometimes, especially if you stay in the UK, but you can prepare for things like that. Pack lots of warm, waterproof clothes, welly boots, flashlights, and that kind of thing, so that you can get out whatever the weather. And with kids, in my experience, kids just love it, especially if you're somewhere like sandy beaches or you've got some woods nearby. They can go exploring. They can splash in puddles. They can go for a walk along the beach in the rain. They don't care. They can go in the sea in the rain. So we've done all of those kind of things. And the other thing we did for really frugal holidays was house swapping. So we would pack up our house, leave it nice and clean and tidy, and go off actually most of the time to France, because there just happened to be an organisation that we found which was based in France and with a lot of people who wanted to come to the UK. And seeing as we have a very ordinary 3-bedroom semi-detached house, I thought nobody's going to want to come here. Some of the houses were amazing, had pools, and were in the south of France and really posh. And we didn't actually try to swap with them because we just thought, well, they're not going to, they can get something much better. Somebody's probably going to swap their holiday home in Florida with them. But we found some really lovely family homes, like in Brittany. We went down to La Vendée and places like that. And okay, the cost of driving down there, you have to take that into consideration, getting across on the ferry. We didn't fly, that would have just been so expensive. Plus, obviously, you want to take quite a lot of stuff with you when you've got kids. So we'd drive and stop over at a cheap hotel. The Étape in France is one of the ones, or the Ibis Hotel we'd go to. They were very, very reasonable if we were going on a long distance. And then when you get to the property that you've swapped, the great thing is when you do have children, or even if you don't actually, is it's somebody's actual home. So it's a real home from home. They have very fully equipped in the kitchen. It's comfortable. They have toys and games for you to play. So it's really, really good in that respect as well. And of course, the accommodation costs absolutely nothing. The downside of house swapping is that you feel like you have to make your house really, really clean and tidy. So we'd always spend, ages, a few weeks making it really clean, cleaning out the cupboards. You're thinking, well, somebody's going to be poking around in my cupboards. Other people have said, oh, but aren't you worried people are going to steal things? And that never happened. There's a mutual respect because, of course, you're in their property. So they've looked after our cats and we've looked after theirs. We looked after somebody's chickens one year and that made us want chickens. We came back and got some. So there's more advantages than disadvantages. It's a really, really good way of having a cheap holiday. So other ways would be, I haven't done these since I've had children, but when I was younger, I did a lot of youth hostelling. Youth hostels have come on a long way, I think, since I was a teenager. They seem, when I've looked at them now, they seem to have double rooms and family rooms. And whereas when I used to use them, in order to get the rooms so cheaply, you were expected to do some jobs. So you would be expecting to sweep the kitchen or clean the toilets or something like that, which was all part of the fun of it as far as I was concerned. It doesn't seem like that's still the arrangement, and it's probably a little more expensive as a result, but it's still very, very reasonable, and you don't have to be young to use youth hostel and join the Youth Hostel Association. There's an International Youth Hostels Association as well. You can travel all over the world if you want to. So it's another way of having a cheap holiday. one of the things I forgot to say if you are doing a frugal holiday is that you can save an awful lot of money by taking your own food and drink out with you. So we do have the odd chippy tea. We had fish and chips the other night, and we had a Chinese takeaway one night. We haven't eaten out at all because, frankly, with 4 dogs, it's just not that relaxing. It's much more relaxing to be back at the chalet. So we have some treats. We build in some treats, and we have wine in the fridge, and we've had Prosecco and beer and all sorts of things here. We've had the odd drink out at the pubs as well. But most of the time we're taking picnics out with us. So that means popping into the local supermarket, stocking up on rolls and snacks and crisps and fruit, taking a flask out with us, always having some water or some juice and that kind of thing with us, taking dog food out with us and water for the dogs as well, of course. And that really, really keeps the costs down because you can spend an awful lot just on having coffee constantly out. Having said that, we are on holiday. So, you know, if we see a nice coffee shop and we feel like going to have a nice frothy, can't say that's hard to say, isn't it? Forget it, cappuccino. We have a nice cappuccino or something like that. Then we will do that. But a lot of the time, as I say, we save loads of money by taking food out with us, and I think that's even more important if you've got a family and loads of kids, because it's I remember it very well. I want. So you save on the lunches in order to have the ice creams and things that they would like to have. So you don't need to feel deprived, but it does make your money go further if you have your own food and drink. I think self-catering is the way to go as well if you want a frugal holiday. So we are lucky here that, as I showed you before, that there's everything we would need within the chalet. Sometimes if I'm not sure, I'll take a few things with me. Like I've bought some knives for chopping here because I wasn't sure how good their knives would be. Sometimes I'll bring things like a cheese grater and things that they don't always have, corkscrew. They should have those. And I didn't bring wine glasses this time because they always have wine glasses, and actually they only had one wine glass, so we've just been drinking wine out of tumblers. But self-catering is the way to go for sure if you want to have a frugal holiday. I'm sure you know that. If you've got a family already, you probably do that as it is. So yes, anyway, just wanted to add that in. We're at a little place called Potterham. The locals call it Potterham. Look at that, how cute is that? The Dutch touch. Lovely. Not lovely weather, but you can't have everything. It's an English summer, after all. Come on then, Archie. Oh yeah, the old mill. On the island windmill. Elizabeth's going to be in there. It's nice, isn't it? You can book this property at, probably cost you a bleeding fortune, but it's nice. So it just rained so much, but there's this rainbow. Justin's going to find the treasure. We got very, very wet. Look, the trousers are soaking. Joy. As I've said before, joys of an English summer. It is very lovely though. We can go home and get dry and have a cup of tea. That'd be nice. rainbow. Oh yeah, look at the sun over there. See the lighthouse in the distance. These showers are really, really localised. It's really weird. Let's go back and get a cup of tea. And now, of course, we have Airbnb. That was another thing that didn't exist until, well, I don't know, when did it arrive? 20 years ago? 15 years ago? And this, you can still find, although a lot of like professionals are on the Airbnb sites now and people rent specifically to go on Airbnb, you still get the spare bed in somebody's house arrangement. We did that in Anglesey in Wales a few years ago. Just a girl, she just had her own house and she had a spare room and we stayed there. She laid out some cornflakes and things for us in the morning and it cost us about 40 quid. So you can't really go wrong. We were staying in Wales elsewhere and we wanted to go up to Anglesey, but we didn't want to spend a fortune on a hotel. And that was really good. So it gave us a chance to look around Anglesey and without leaving the accommodation we were in, which I should talk about as well, because the accommodation we stayed in just several years, we've been about probably 7 times rather over the years, was just a caravan on a little small holding. So it was an older couple, they had a little small holding, they earned a bit of extra money from their caravan, which was a really old 70s caravan. It was so lovely and charming, it would be considered vintage really now. They could sell it as a vintage holiday if they wanted to. But because they had lived there for a while they were doing up their cottage, they'd built a wooden canopy over the top and next to that a compost toilet. So it was very warm and very comfortable and it was by a river. It was so peaceful and it cost about £100 a week for us to stay in. It was absolutely brilliant. We went back time and time again and really considered the owners friends by the end. They did actually retire and went off and bought themselves a bungalow. So we did go back one more time after that. And the new people were perfectly nice, but they don't now take dogs. So we can't go unless we leave Archie behind. But it was a brilliant holiday. We got to know that area really, really well. And as I say, it was very cheap. It used to cost us a bit to drive down to Wales, but not too much. So what I'm really saying, I think, about frugal holidays is look for something a little bit outside the box. Keep your eyes and ears open. I actually found that little caravan in a tiny little advert. I belong to the Centre for Alternative Technology, which is based in Machynlleth, which I'm sure I've said wrong in Wales. If you're Welsh, please forgive me. And I belonged to that for a long time and got their magazine because I was very into people, they were kind of helping develop things like wind turbines and solar panels. They were really innovative in that, some of the early pioneers. And it was a tiny little advert in their small ads. And I saw it was a little caravan on a organic small holding by a stream. And it was just fabulous. Honestly, I'd love to live there, but Justin says it's far too remote. So it is quite a long way from everybody else as well. So perhaps not, but it is just a lovely place to go for a holiday. So just look outside the box. There's lots of ways of getting a holiday without spending a fortune. You don't have to get a big package holiday and whiz over to Spain or wherever. Although, that's lovely. It's nice. I do like traveling, but I'm very increasingly aware of wanting to reduce my carbon footprint. And I wouldn't say I'll never fly again. I'd love to go back to Greece, but I can't see myself flying a couple of times a year and not feeling really bad about doing that. Like some people seem to, they just seem to be able to live a quite green life, but somehow turn the blinkers on when it comes to flying. I think actually what I would love to do is do a train journey around Europe. I think that could be quite an adventure and, a lot more eco-friendly, really, way to travel than going on an aeroplane. So anyway, I think I'm just rambling now, but I just wanted to say this is our little frugal holiday and give you maybe some ideas of how you can go on holiday without spending a fortune. it's really more than possible. So think outside the box. Anyway, I shall see you. We've got a couple more days left and I'll see you back home. Bye.